Hello folks, welcome to another episode. In today's video we're going to be working on this Japanese maple. Alright, so as you can see right here, I have a Japanese maple, and this Japanese maple is sitting on a 6.5 gallon pot. Right now I wouldn't consider it necessarily a tree. It looks more like a giant bush. It measures about 3.5 feet tall and about like 3 wide. But if you get closer to this tree, you actually get to see a little bit of the trunk. Now the trunk looks to be about 4 inches in diameter, and the Navari is quite there, really. So originally I got this tree because it was only $60, and I figure, hey, maybe I can air layer some of these branches, work on it, and then I'll have a decent looking tree right over here. Of course, this is going to take some time, but I also wanted to use this as an example of how I like to air layer my trees. Now, right now it's actually on bloom, which I did not mind at all. Like I said, originally what I wanted to do was to just use it as some nursery stock for me to work with, but what better to just be able to see if we can reproduce this tree by air layering some of these branches. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to trim it back a little bit, figure out which branches I'm going to want to air layer, and then prune back some of these branches too, so I can get a better idea. I'm also not going to waste any of these little branches. All the new shoots that I have right here that have not hardened quite yet, I'm going to go ahead and just put some root powdered hormone and see if I can also get a little more trees from there. So let's get started. So to begin with, you're going to need some plastic bags, sphagnum moss. I would consider just putting that sphagnum moss in a container with water and just leaving it there for about 15 minutes so it can soak up the water really good. You also need a nice sharp razor blade, some wire, or also some string so that you can apply the bag onto the branches. So right now I'm just pretty much cutting back a few branches so that it allows me to look into the trunk and figure out exactly where I would want to add my air layers. I'm not trying to go too crazy in cutting a significant amount. I just pretty much want to make some space, but also kind of establish the first style of this tree. Ideally, a clear plastic bag would be best because you can actually see the growth of the roots. But I'm going to go ahead and just rip this up a little bit. And I have my container with sphagnum moss already wet. Alright, so right here we have a nice branch that would be good to air layer, and this was just to propagate another tree. So for example, this branch right here can be about 1.5 centimeters in diameter. So what we want to do is make a cut that it's about the size of it and a half. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go below the nut just a little bit, like that, and then radial, so all the way around. The sharper your knife, the better. And you just want to peel off that layer right there. The next step is going to be optional. Get some root powder and hormone. And for this, you would actually need to get a glove because you do not want to get that powder on your fingers. Can be really toxic. And then you just grab some and then apply it there. You would want to apply it on the upper layer, not at the lower part, and then just add a little bit right there. You have to saturate it well enough, and then put some right above it too. Then you take out a good amount of your sphagnum moss, nice and wet. Try to squeeze out some water, and then just wrap it around. Alright, so we just finished with the second air layer. What I'm going to do right now is that I'm just going to go ahead and continue cleaning the tree a little bit, and then continue applying more of these techniques around the tree. After I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll continue with the rest. Alright, so I have removed, man, I want to say 40% of the foliage right here, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but I have 9 air layers right here. Some of them are as small as 1 centimeter and thick for the branches. Now some of them are about 2 centimeters and about 2 centimeters and a half of the thicker ones. Now, ideally, I don't think that many air layers on a single tree would actually work out, but considering the fact that I have a whole lot to take off, it's, you know, worth the shot. Alright, so the next step for this tree is that I'm just going to go ahead and place it in this partial sunny area. I'm going to go ahead and keep an eye on this masses of moss right here, making sure that there is some roots growing. This might take about 3 to 6 months or so, and then it would allow me to cut off the whole entire branch. There is other ways to go about it. So you can probably just get a pot, make a hole on the bottom, and then just attach it to the branch with some wire. You can add your regular bonsai soil mix with a little bit of sphagnum moss, and then just continue watering on a daily basis. However, for my area, it is actually more ideal for me to just use the back technique. Like I said, the whole entire purpose of me purchasing this tree right here was actually because of the trunk. I really like the silhouette of it, but I wanted to just go ahead and give it a shot. Try not to waste as much of the foliage that was already up here. So if we can make little trees out of it, what best, you just, you know, propagate them a little better. Alright folks, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts, comment down below, and I'll see you next time.